I'm Mike.
I'm Jason.
I'm Michael.
And this is Snake Envy. We are pleased to be joined by Michael Larson of Solid Serpents.
Yep.
And, okay, so question for the two of you. Albino snakes, do you find them overwhelming, underwhelming? What's your general thought on albinos, just across the snake world?
I have mixed feelings. I generally like albinos, but it's just certain species are neater than others. I really like the albino tricolors and pits, mainly.
How about you?
I think albinos, when you've been in the hobby a long time, you start looking at albinos and forget how cool they are. Because albinos to me are the first thing that all the non-snake people see. So when I first got my corn snake, my daughter was flipping through and she says, "Ooh, I like that one. I like this one." And they're all albinos. And anybody that I show albinos to, they all love them because they're not snake people. And then the corn snakes that I hatched this year, I hatched 14. 11 were normals. And then the 3 albinos are the best looking ones. So
Interesting.
yeah.
That's actually a really interesting thought, that albinos are kind of a gateway drug
They are.
Well, I mean,
into the hobby because they look different.
well, and you're looking at this snake, and then you see an albino, and it's like the colors are like popping because they're vibrant, way more vibrant.
I'm one of those people who generally has been very underwhelmed by albinos. I've seen boas and pythons that are stunning, and I think Pituophis albinos are the best in the hobby. There's just something about them, and the colors tend to be on the oranges and the yellows. It's the lavenders, like a lot of the kings are in the lavender range. That's kind of the albinos I think are a little underwhelming. But the pits, they just pop. Pythons, they pop. But overall, I kind of prefer the normals. I always have.
Okay. What about albino, T-negative albino versus T-positive albino?
Yeah, you and I were looking at several, and we're going to show some of them now. But we were looking at some of the T-positive and T-negative differences. And when you put normal eyes with some of the albinos,
Oh, those are cool.
Or different colored eyes?
just
Rather than the pinks.
exactly anything other than pink, you're right. It adds something even more. So, and you know what? T-positive, T-negative, a lot of people aren't even familiar with that. A lot of people don't even know that there is such a thing as T-positive. So that's an interesting, we're going to show some really cool examples
That's
of that.
why I'm here, to learn about the T-positive, T-negative.
But
Because it's confusing.
But I agree with you. When you add darker eyes to an albino,
Those look cool.
it's amazing.
The contrast.
I like the look a lot better as well.
So we have got a couple requests on the channel through comments, and we love it when you guys comment and ask questions, make suggestions, let us know what you want us talking about. But we have had several people say, show me the variety of albinos in pits. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have Jason go around the room, and we're probably going to show you, what, a dozen?
We can show you lots and lots.
We can show you lots, but
Huge amounts.
minimum you're going to see a dozen to 15 examples of different albinos, and Jason will tell us what they are, and he's also going to tell us whether they're T-positive or T-negative.
Plus, we'll break down species
Yes,
as well.
exactly. He's going to tell us what species. So, but they will all be pits. This is going to be fun. Keep watching. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, lay it on us, Jason. We're going to go rack by rack and then show us a couple of the highlights on each one.
These are, well, it's more than just an albino, obviously, but this is a blizzard bull snake. It's not a true blizzard. You can, if you look closely, you can see some patterning in there.
Now explain for people what you mean by not only albino, and obviously the pink eyes. Somebody looks at this snake and says, oh, pink eyes, it's got to be albino. But what else is going on? And what do the pink eyes really mean?
And a lot of people like that don't know snakes when they hear albino, they always think white, and that's not true, especially in pits. So this has xanthic, and then I believe hypo in this, and that's why you can see some of these little. It's hard to tell, but
there's a little color coming through, but it's subtle. And then obviously those pink eyes.
Nope. We got lots of mixtures too. Here's an albino. It's very standard. We'll show you some better examples of albino bulls. I have one in particular that I want to show you guys.
This one's definitely T negative. We got the pink eyes. Now explain T negative, T positive. It's a little more than just the eye color, but
Tyrese.
But eye color is kind of your first clue.
Yeah.
But it's one or the other.
And here's this guy. This is an albino white side. We'll get to some T negatives real quick here in a minute. But these are all bull snakes so far, yearlings. And this one's a paradox. It's got that orange patch.
Yep. We covered this snake last year. That paradox has become a little less obvious relative to the rest of the pattern and color, but it's still there.
Yep. I think we're pretty good on bulls, so we're gonna jump. These are San Diego's over here, and I'm gonna show you my favorite. We'll just get to it with this guy. This is an albino Applegate. All right. Little
Bob Applegate, one of the legends in the hobby, and we had an opportunity to talk to him at Pomona, and we have an interview on our channel with him if you're interested. And this line of snakes, we got to hear the full story from him, originated from one wild-caught snake in a suburban yard.
Yeah.
That's so pretty.
And there is like a color variation. This is like more of a yellow phase, where that one's an orange.
The orange pops more, huh?
Yeah. That's more of a contrast.
Both are beautiful. Now notice the eyes on this one. Those eyes really stand out
red
and
pink.
pop. Very red. I would say it's not so much pink as red. That's what's pretty stunning about those eyes.
Now here we have this is what,
Yeah.
see this eye?
That's cool.
That's a T positive albino. You don't have the pink eyes generally, but you do have a different looking eye. Usually,
It's not as dark as a
it's usually
normal's
ruby.
eyes would be.
There a lot of times
Yeah.
are ruby colored. But this guy, instead of getting the whites, you get these lavenders, and that's a big difference in the T positive versus T negative. You get purples.
Now this would be a Meeker Sonoran, correct?
No, this
Or
is
this still a San
this is a
Diego?
Dyer San Diego.
Oh, Dyer San Diego.
Okay, so why does
And
it
a
still
stripe.
have brown eyes if it's an albino? What causes that?
T positive, it processes melanin in a different way that gives it a different color. Where T negative is there's no melanin, and so it gives it the white look.
Right.
And the positive has some melanin, but it's altered in a different. Instead of black, it shows up in purples, reds. You know, can be brown.
And it has to do with how much of that enzyme is present and how it affects the production of melanin. But in general, T positive, normal eyes, T negative, pink eyes.
Yeah.
In some species, like the house snakes, the T positive will have more pattern visible. So not only do you see a difference in color, but the pattern comes through greater on the T positive animals, where the pattern gets washed out.
It probably varies from species
and
to
species to species. Yeah, you're going to see different
and
variations.
They're all there's so much variation in species to species,
well,
which is neat.
Even the ones we're looking at. So show us the next one, and now we go from vibrant color to little color.
And well, this has anery in it, but this is a good way when you know you have a San Diego and this camera's not. This animal's still a subadult, but there's all this green and it's hard to see. It's probably really hard to see on camera, but this will get darker as it ages, and this green will come out in orange form too. This has anery added to it, so it's 3 recessive traits right here. But you can get an orange and green San Diego, and the reason that is because it's got both T negative and T positive, which changes that white to green.
Wow. And the eyes on that one are almost freaky. They're like horror movie.
This is a sibling.
Yeah,
this is a sibling right here to that, and
spots.
okay, so these are siblings.
this is a T negative.
What a pretty animal. That is nice.
But look at these spots too, which is different, but you see that major color difference.
Wow. And those are clutch mates.
Siblings.
Amazing.
Let's see, I don't know if I have any albinos over here. I don't.
Okay. Next rack.
Let's come over to this big one over here. And we're going to jump back to bull snakes for this albino. We're going to jump back to bull snakes and we're going to show you this albino. I just love the look of this animal. Wow. And you get, it's almost green down here and in the neck.
The tail is most definitely green. And look at that spotted green on top of the head there. That's amazing too.
I don't know if there's something more going on here, but it's a different looking albino bull.
Now you say that from time to time. You've told me, I know this is albino, but there's got to be something else. Is that green color often kind of an indicator of that? That maybe there's more?
That's why I say that, because most albino bulls are just yellow and orange.
Yeah.
So
the green, there's something else that's bringing that out.
Okay, we're gonna roll through some Sonorans real quick here, and there's quite a few in here. This is actually a pure locality albino Christmas Mountain Sonoran.
Wow.
I just love how it gets dark on the back end. Usually, this is a Papago Park, this dark color usually is in the neck too, and then this is its litter mate right here. And she is a little bit different than him.
Much lighter.
Yeah. She's taking off.
She doesn't want to be seen. Yeah. Camera shy.
Sassy.
Well, that one's in shed, so let's see. Now, I'm unsure about this. This is a rusty Sonoran, and my best guess is that it's some form of T-positive albino. Totally normalized.
totally normal eyes,
So then you get
but
this
much lighter
maroon.
color. And then you get this maroon down at the tail
This,
and no black.
yeah, that's even purple in there.
Black is replaced with purple, which is interesting.
And the rusties are super variable, because then you're gonna get like this one where it's super vibrant.
Wow. And just a hint of purple back in the tail. And what's amazing too is you get this contrast between orange and almost what looks like pure red there in the middle. It's really interesting.
And some of these rusties will be maroon, some will be red, some will be purples. I got another. There's another rusty. This is a rusty meeker, actually.
And look at the normal eyes. T positive.
A lot of T positives have more of a ruby eye, where this rusty, it's, to me, it looks super normal.
Very normal.
Very normal. There's another one. And see, they're all different. They're all different colors. All four of these have been a little bit different.
Wow. And the background color on that one, really deep.
Yeah, this one's a richer color. This guy usually comes up and tries to attack. This
This guy, I think it's feeding time.
is just a regular albino Sonoran.
Another T positive.
No, T-neg.
T neg.
Yep.
Those eyes are.
They're
Wow.
red. They're red, but they're just darker.
They're red, but they're darker, yeah. Now that you mention it, they are not normal. It's interesting. At a glance, they look normal. As you look closer, they're kind of translucent.
Yeah, in the brighter light, you would it'd see a little easier. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any more albinos over here. Not really, except for this San Diego. This is actually more. This is more than an albino, but this is a T positive. This is a San Diego. By the way, look at these dark eyes. If you look closely, they're like a ruby, a dark ruby red.
I think that's another one where it kind of depends on the light. Because from my angle, it looks very normal.
Yeah, if you were to shine a flashlight in this, you would see this ruby color. But this is Anery and McGurty albino, which is a T positive.
I think what everybody's seeing by now is that even within albinos, there is a ton of variability.
There's a lot, even in the same bloodlines, you'll see a big
Even clutch mates, yeah.
clutch mates. Even
Wow. What else?
what's that? Let's get this guy in here.
Oh, wow.
It is a patternless.
He's always one of the stunners that we film.
Yeah.
Patternless and albino. And let's see if we can catch those eyes. Right there, yeah. Wow. Yeah, pink is pink. Wow. Stunning.
So you get a lot of oranges, lots of yellows, and reds.
I have to say, too, Michael, while we're on the subject,
Yeah.
I never got patternless until I saw him in person.
Oh, that's how I was when I bought I think it was the first snake I ever bought from you. I brought my son over here, and I saw the patternless in a picture and thought,
I know.
But then you see him in person, and it was this all brown snake with this little bit of orange and yellow.
Yeah, Great Basin, right?
No, it was the San Diego that
San Diego.
Yeah, you've seen. I need to show it again. Yeah. It's so freaking pretty in person. There's certain snakes that just you can't show them on the film or in camera, and it just pisses you off to show it, but because it doesn't show.
No.
Then you see it in person, and oh goodness,
Patternless,
patternless
never
are
got.
flipping awesome.
And then I've seen so many of them here in person, and they're all just stunning.
Yeah. Oh man.
Photos, video just doesn't do them justice. This guy though, with that yellow color.
Yeah, and then it's cool because his litter mate was orange.
Wow.
Do you have a baby one of those that we can compare how they? Do you have any of these albinos that we can compare how they look from babies to full grown? Because albinos change.
It's kind of we're getting close to eggs hatching, so soon.
Over the next couple weeks. Yeah. But that's a good idea. We'll definitely contrast.
We can double back on that.
Yeah. Any others? I think you have one more over here, don't you?
There is a few albinos in here, but
what was the very first albino pit that came on the market? You could say
the very first albino pit was a Sonoran gopher. The very first albino colubrid, I believe, was a corn snake.
I think it was an amel in the 70s.
An amel corn, and then the second was a Cal King. The third albino colubrid, Sonoran.
Wow.
Papago Park.
So that even predated the Applegate San Diegos.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the third albino colubrid.
Found it out
And that's what hooked me onto pits, was I bought a pair of those off Rick Blair, and
those Sonorans.
albino Sonorans, and I was just like, wow, these eat every time and they grow overnight? All right. So, yeah.
It wasn't even the albino that sold you. It was the species.
Yeah, more or less.
And keeping them in captivity, yeah.
Yep.
Pits are amazing. How about one more? We'll wrap it up.
Let's see.
I don't know if we can top that patternless, but
big yellow monster is beautiful.
I have this giant albino, but she's still recovering. She's still recovering from breeding, but I gotta watch out. Oh, actually, let's get him, because he's even neater. I love this guy, actually. This is actually a high bino.
this one was
Hypo
almost
and-
an afterthought.
Yeah, this is a hypo and albino, but this thing, I love this guy.
Wow. And this is another one of those. I love when the pattern kind of fades out like that, and
But
then it comes back.
Yeah, that tail is something
That
else.
tail is unreal.
Look at this boy.
And the size of the head. This is a very big snake, guys.
Yeah. Well, I bet he's close to 6.
He's easily 6
Oh, yeah,
feet.
he is.
Yeah. Definitely a 6-footer. Very thick, very big head,
And he's just started to eat again, so he's gaining weight again.
and beautiful. Yeah, after having done his duty and bred this year.
And he loves to get out and chase girls around.
All right, so there we go. So, Jason, I would argue that pit albinos are among, if not the best, albinos in the business. Agree?
100%.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep. See ya.